Hello, all, the Rational Skeptic here, and today I am going to be making a video on how do INTPs view INFJs. It is a video or a recording mainly on how these two types view each other, but more so how the INTPs see the INFJs. But I will go a little into the vice versa part as well. So I would say that INTPs are intrigued by the INFJ at the very least and dazzled at the other end. The reason being that INFJs and INTPs share two functions, namely TI, introverted thinking, and FE, extroverted feeling, although in completely different positions. This means that they will usually understand the thought patterns of one another, but don't really get why or how they chose the paths they did to get there. So first I'll lay out the functions and then I'll go into the theory a little bit. So the INTP leads with introverted thinking as a dominant function. They have extroverted intuition as an auxiliary. They have introverted sensing as their tertiary function and extroverted feeling as their inferior function, otherwise called the anima or animus. The INFJ has introverted intuition as a dominant function, extroverted feeling as their auxiliary, introverted thinking as their tertiary function, and extroverted sensing as their inferior function or anima or animus. So along the axis that they share uh, introverted thinking (TI) and extroverted feeling (FE). So going into TI, we see that the uh, INTPs have TI as their dominant function, while INFJs have it as their tertiary function. In MBTI lingo, the dominant function is the hero, while the tertiary is the aspiration function. It is what each type would like to become in a way. They use this function mainly as a crutch of adaptation in society, so they can be more playful with this function. So in a sense, INFJ's TI side sees the INTP as much more developed and would likely be in awe to a certain extent. The INFJ's preference for NI makes them skip over many TI-centric procedures which the INTP hates to see INFJs gloss over. This puts the INTP in a position of being vigilant over the INFJ's ideas that he brings to the table. You can find the INTP saying to the INFJ things like, yes, but you have to consider, or I don't think that works exactly like that, but go on. All the while, the INTP is listening to the INFJ and trying to piece together the scattered pieces of puzzle being left around. The truth is that in the process described above, the INFJ needs TI mostly as their communicative field. At first, the INTP does not get this. They don't know the INFJ is not trying to remain consistent as much as they're trying to describe whatever image is appearing to their inner eye. This image can be something concrete, like a rock, or something as abstract as the nature of the universe. In either process, the INFJ is struggling to break down a complex object into logical bits that considered separately sound like nothing or gibberish, but taken as a whole, paints a different picture. So, in general, the INFJs are more big picture thinkers. The INTPs, though they are also intuitives and can share in this big picture-ness, they are more concerned about details. So they like to get to specifics, which the INFJ is not very good at. They constantly are viewing a bigger picture, and in order to keep it in focus, they can't start trying to dig down to the nitty gritty details. That would mess up the point. And so the other function that they share is extroverted feeling. This is an area where the INTP will probably look up to the INFJ. One of the issues INTPs face in early adulthood is learning how to stop interrupting others. In normal parlance, people make logical blunders all the time. For example, Sandy comes home from school and says, "I hate boys." The next day, John, INTP, Sandy's brother, sees her laughing with a lot of boys at school and apparently having a pretty good time. According to the INTP, this is a completely illogical action. But once you use FE, like the INFJ, you have more compassion for humans, understanding that not everything everyone says is what they actually do. Knowing and empathizing with this bit of information is what makes the INFJ prioritize the feelings of others rather than logical consistency. The INTP has this function as their inferior, and so in terms of skill, the INFJ will far surpass the INTP in their ability to keep things cool in their circle. On the other hand, INTPs are going to be much more likely to follow the lead of the INFJ in this area. It may even become a sort of supervisor-supervisee relationship in both directions. The INFJ supervising the INTPs in their use of FE, while the INTP supervises the INFJ in the use of TI, introverted thinking. So these two types in general can have a very beneficial relationship, and they have a lot to learn from one another. I can actually see a case where an INFJ is guiding the application of an INTP's project that he may have and making it more consumable for people, because at the end of the day, you want the INTP has this inferior extroverted feeling. So, in terms of individuation, they are trying to reconcile this harmony with other beings, with their other approach, which is abstracted and introverted, parsing logical information. So, and the INFJ, on the other hand, is constantly looking at the bigger picture. As I mentioned before, although they don't think through their ideas clearly enough sometimes in terms of logical consistency. And so having an INTP there to kind of connect the dots and give a concrete, actual, or objective reference for the same information that the INFJ might be trying to communicate. And so, yeah, that's this for this video. I just wanted to make a short video on the INFJ, INTP relationship, or in other words, how they would both interact and how it can be very beneficial to them both. And that will be it for this video. It's a quick, short one, just getting that information out there. And I will probably be continuing the Naruto series for the MBTI, or I might go back to the college series. Let's see what happens. But if you like these videos, let me know down in the comments. Let me know any topics that you might want me to go into. I do take requests, so if you want a specific uh, question answered concerning the MBTI, leave it down in the comment section and I'll take it up. And that'll be it for now. The Irrational Skeptic signing off.